Hello everyone, I'm Kibitz and welcome back to Satisfactory, where we're working on finishing up this nuclear power plant here, and we're on the final stages, where we've collected up half the world's SAM supply, automated a ton of it into Ficsite ingots, and then we constructed that into 1,500 Ficsite trigons per minute. Those are the first few steps of many to get to our ultimate goal of automating Ficsonium fuel rods. Because if we can automate them, they don't make any nuclear waste, which means we could burn our plutonium fuel rods without burying our world in plutonium waste, which we can't get rid of yet. But at least with the trigons, we've made progress on our journey here. Next step is diamonds, please? Can I have some diamonds? I only want 900 per minute. How hard could that be? Well, taking a look in ye old Satisfactory modeler, and yeah, if we just use the default recipe, we got a problem. Luckily for diamonds, there's lots of options. So if we use the cloudy diamond alternate, that's also kind of insane. In fact, if we go through all of the different alternates, nothing's that great. Oil-based diamonds would require like 4,000 crude oil. Petroleum coke diamonds somehow is more? Why? That's what the heavy oil residue alternate. Oh my gosh, so that's like the real talk. Oh, now it's 5,000, what? Still, it's more than this, but you get all this polymer resin? Whatever. Main thing is, all these recipes are insane. No matter how you wanna go about it, you're gonna have a pretty bad time, except if we wanted to muck around with this one, Turbo Diamonds, which takes a whole whack ton of coal, and then a little bit of turbo fuel, which isn't too bad. This is reasonable. So this will be our big goal today, and then maybe turning them all into time crystals, because that's what we want at the end of the day, really. Because once we have the time crystals, we make those into dark matter crystals, and those go towards singularity cells, and those go towards Ficsonium, which is about this stage right here in this whole process. Yeah, this is all just a diorama. In reality, this is kind of what all that looks like. It's a little bit more involved, you could say. But good news! I have planned this out pretty thoroughly, and we are actually prepared for today's project. Long ago, Mr. Past Kibz knew that we needed to use that Turbo Diamonds alternate recipe. So I made a ton of turbo fuel over at our nuclear power plant here. We're packaging it up, and we're actually using it partly as drone fuel, but it'll mostly be for diamonds. Millions and billions and quadrillions of diamonds. So that whole stage of the process is all set up and ready to go. In fact, we have so much turbo fuel, I'm using it as my main drone power source, or fuel source. So all my drones actually run on turbo fuel as well. Which means all we need is the coal. And past Kibz, if he had coal somewhere around these parts, he'd be bringing it in via a train. And we only need like 8,600. Yeah, past Kibz definitely has that prepared, right? Definitely somewhere in here, right? Somewhere right here. Yippee! How much is this? 600. Okay, another 600. Looking good. Not coal, not coal. Sam, Caterium, and another 600. Okay, 1,800 coal. Only need 6,800 more. Easy. I'm sure most of that is in the train next door, right over yonder. We have more SAM, sulfur, okay. SAM, sulfur. Kinda need a little bit more coal here, brother. Where's my beautiful, precious, clean coal? Caterium, 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 Caterium. Diamonds? Uh-oh. Past Kibz, did you have some kind of idea of what to do here a year ago? Where does this train go? You true to in. What does this mean? Where does it go? Timetable. Nothing's named. Oh, but there's a train right here. Let's take a ride. Let's see where this actually ends up. Maybe decipher the mysteries of past Kibz. See, a lot of these plans and trains are set up like a year ago, so we're kind of rediscovering all this together, okay? And hopefully past Kibz didn't do anything too goofy. Like he would ever, right? Ha 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 ha. But no, it looks like we are going up over this way. Not into the Dune Desert by our Hellspires. No, we are actually going, I think we're going over there. Oh, yes, yes, yes. Right in the middle of this biome here, because right next door to this train station is lots of coal. I think it is 3 pure nodes and then 1 normal node. So that's 1,200 times 3, 3,600 plus 600, 4,200 coal. Cool, past Kibz. Where's the rest? I need almost 3,000 more. What the frick? But no matter what, I'm still gonna need this 4,200. And if past Kibz left a sign on the train saying diamonds, I bet that he wanted to make the particle accelerators on site here to make those all into diamonds. But I don't think that's gonna be possible for us unless we bring, unless we bring the packaged turbo fuel here via the train here, drop off the turbo fuel, and then on the way back, we bring back the diamonds. That would be cool. Because yeah, there's no way we're using any of the other alternate recipes. They're just too expensive. Like the default is 600 coal for 30 diamonds. We can't do that. Like in this economy, my gosh, if we just had 4,200, that's nothing. Versus with turbo diamonds, woo. Now those some real numbers. But then how many particle accelerators would we have to build on site? 7? Okay, we could do that. Or we could have those 7 particle accelerators over at our nuclear power plant. I think I'd rather do that. All right, so we're bringing them home. How hard would that be? What is going on with train number 1? Looks like it is pretty well in full. We have 1 freight car. That will not handle 4,200 items per minute. With the other freight cars though, needs Mark 6, Mark 5. Uh-oh. What's going on with the other freight cars? What's going on over here? Oh, some stuff. But why isn't other Caterium moving and grooving here? What is the whole dealio there? Like this is full, that's full. I don't know, we can figure that out later. I think at the end of the day, we're gonna have to set up a new train to gather up all this coal and bring it back to the nuclear power plant. And where, might you ask, are we gonna put another train yard around here? Great question. Future Kibz has the answer. And present Kibz is just gonna get started. Look, this game can be very overwhelming, I'm sure most of you know. A lot of the time, the best idea is just to blindly go forward, make mistakes, and fix things from there. Wait, did you hear something? Is that an agonizing scream from future Kibz? Nah, no way. You would never. This is a great idea. It's better than doing nothing. Totally. Oh, how do we actually hook this up to our main train track here? Got a main line here. We could go from A to B. Yeah, that looks like it'll work. And then I guess we could have this train track scoot. Oh, that's such a good idea. Okay, you see, this is why we just do things and they all work out, because this track goes back to the nuclear power plant. And then we can double up on it. So this train can loop around. Other direction. Okay, you're being a punk buster, fine. What? Demons. Anyway, this track can go around this way, and then the other track can scoot out that way, and it'll be fine. In fact, better than fine. This will look so cool if we have like parallel tracks here, and it will be no inconvenience at all. Except for that rock right there. I don't like that rock, but it's fine. I went around the rock, and we are rocking and rolling. Look at all these tracks, ready to go. The train is not gonna be this big, but I just wanted to have it as large as possible for future opportunities. As for reusing the other track here, I don't think we're gonna do that. I like having the parallel tracks here and there, even though it's inefficient. Rule of cool, baby, it's how it goes. Anyway, lots of capacity for fun and games here. Except, I was looking over the Caterium over this way, right? And I kept an eye on it, and none of it is loading into the trains. Like ever. Like this transfer rate? Lies. Deceptions. Something's going on here. And I think it has to do with past Kibz. We must investigate post haste. What did you do, past Kibz? What chicanery is this? What do we got going on downstairs here? We have the SAM going out that way, makes sense. This is all actually connected to something. Very good, very good. Then the the Caterium going this way, goes up this way, and then to where? There's a lot of quick wire being made here, but apparently, what? It goes nowhere? What do you mean? I guess past Kibz gonna bring it this way at some point, but he's like, nah. Interesting. Is that actually these two belts? It is. They're being used for nothing. Oh, this is because of the discovery last time. So last time when we were making Ficsite and Trigons and stuff, we're messing around with like Somers loops and a bunch of numbers to see like, hey, what's the most efficient way to do this? Because I wanted to be really, really careful with my Somers loops. There's a limited amount and they're really good. And it turns out, when you're making the Trigons, generally speaking, you want to have your Somers loops at the end stage here. So you double up on Trigon production, and you don't need them earlier on. Now SAM usage-wise, which is the numbers I was calculating around, it doesn't really matter if you have the Somers loops either at the lunchbox stage here, or at the Trigon stage. So I didn't think much of it. However, if you have the Somers loops at the Trigon stage, when you're making your Ficsite, you need half as much conversion material. And in our scenario, that's half as much Caterium. Which means back here, we have thousands of extra Caterium lying around. Okay, thousands of Caterium out in about, eh? Well, if we have, holy smokes, wait a second. This is Caterium ore. Oh my gosh, ore? Because of how we used our Somers loops, we need half the amount of ingots. And in the conversion process, like the one we'd be using, the ore to ingot ratio is 2 to 1. So we literally, oh my gosh, we literally have thousands of Caterium just sitting around our nuclear power plant. That train there, that's like the tip of the iceberg. There must be belts all over the place. In fact, already we have, what is this? 750 Caterium ingots free, but I know there's even more. Because I know we raided a neighboring biome and just belted a bunch of material over. And one of these belts gets to be Caterium, right? Oh yeah. A 1,200 belt of Caterium, no less. That's the belt right underneath that I'm trying to look at, but we're moving at high speeds. Don't crash. We're chilling. And where does this Caterium ore go? Freaking nowhere, bud. That means we can belt that ore through all of this. And then over at our train yard here, these two 600 belts can be replaced. That frees up 2 more freight cars for activities. So then this will be free, that'll be free. The first one was planned always to be free. And then there's the 2 other belts that aren't even being used with the ore. So you're free and you're free. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 free freight cars for me? 4,200 divided by 5, 840 material? Yeah, we can transport 840 material per minute. No problem at all. That's just from going from A to B over here. Easy. Which means I guess I wasted a lot of time on this freight platform. Whoops. But you know what? Future Kibz will come to appreciate this infrastructure. He always does. But for now, we get the loot. Our 4,200 coal per minute. Go give me that. And we'll quickly just grab the rest, send it on up to our train station. Load the goods, and send them off to become diamonds. Which is all well and good, except we still need more. So much more. Almost 3,000 more. And bad news, I got no idea what we're gonna do. Wait, maybe I do, maybe I do. Past Kibz, I'm counting on you, buddy. Down over this way, there are a couple coal nodes, and we did build some infrastructure here, and I absolutely would have, oh yes. Wait, what? Where's the coal? I know there's coal here. Did they change it? I'm going crazy. There is coal here. What is this 1.0 nonsense? They're all over there. There's more up the hill though. Hold up, what's the story up here? 3 nodes, Okay, 1,200. 3 pure nodes, 3,600. That's everything we need for the project. It looks like I brought that all down towards this train. And I know for a fact that that train drops off goods over there, which is going to be a future heavy and fused modular frames factory. But does it really need that much coal? Do we dare steal that from future Kibz? How about this? If the coal is at the end of this train, then we yoink it. Because I don't want to have to like make a missing freight car in the middle of this train here. It would not be cool. So let's see. No coal, no coal, no coal, no coal, no coal. It is the final 3 freight cars. Would you look at that? We're gonna be making some adjustments. You 3, you're mine. And how about this? We'll leave 900 coal to go over to that other factory, and we take the rest. But then how do we get the rest out of Dodge? Now the train station here? Yeah, there's plenty of room. The real problem is getting all that stuff over to the nuclear power plant. See, we're really in the end game for it, and we don't really have the space for more tracks and all these shenanigans. However, if we have a train line in here, we could build another train station just like over here, and then we can take the oil out and bring that out as well. That could be good. But we could also bring the tracks here. That seems like a lot of work. Holy smokes. I don't think the drones would like that either. But the big question really is, what would look more cool? Well, survey says, we're going in, brother. But yeah, I decided to bring the track all the way into the power plant because we already have another train station just down here. And I was like, oh, another train station can sit on top, why not? Perfect. And also, we're at the final stages of this power plant project. May as well use the space if I got it. And there's this whole room over here to do some unloading, get some bins going, and also test the throughput. I am confident, but not certain that one train going back and forth can handle this whole dealio. But one train should be fine. Each freight car holding 900 per minute. And we're only going like next door from A to like, A to B? That's okay. Look, it'll probably be fine. And even if it's not, there actually is kind of a bit of room around here. Yeah, I might adjust it actually. But first, let's build the other train station. That's back over by the coal. And yeah, you know what? We should be able to fit another train station right to the left there. And if we can't, I'm gonna scream out loud. And my neighbors are gonna freak out. Oh yeah, this is totally fine. Scoot over a little bit, have like a walking path right in here, and we're chilling. And then the coal is right at the end of the train, so it's easy to yoink. You know what? We could probably just put like a smart splitter up this way, or 3 of them, I guess. And because the nuclear power plant is, of course, priority, we will send the overflow over to that factory over there. And the major goods will go towards the nuclear power plant, which will never melt down, ever. Or actually, okay, after setting up this train station properly, I came to my senses and realized that one little true is not going to deliver 3,000 coal per minute to, like, the other side of the world. Shouldn't have wasted my time. This needed to be a loop no matter what. If it's just a back and forth track, you can only have 1 train. But if you have 2 tracks, then it's a way more efficient system. Plus, if 2 trains aren't enough for the throughput, we could add in 3, or 8, or 25, whatever's necessary to get the goods. So we just have to wait a little bit and check on the numbers here. This, I think, is actually the first delivery, right? Or did we get one before? Nope. Inaugural delivery, yippee! 30 items per minute. No, these throughput numbers will take a little while to figure themselves out. They're gonna be pretty high at the beginning, but then they should settle around 900 items per minute. And then just in the freight platforms themselves, yeah, the numbers will get there eventually. However, early on today, we set up that other train station, and the numbers are in for it. And they were insufficient. So what I ended up doing was I got all of the belts here, and instead, we now have a kind of like a belt splitter and merger system going on here, where I have this blueprint, which balances 4 belts into 3. And then on the other end, a splitter kind of thing that takes 3 belts and turns it into 4. And that's just so we can use that extra free freight car that was here. But yeah, TLDR, if we split up the items across more freight cars, that means we can move more items, thus increasing the throughput, and then we just balance it all back up over here. Or at least I think that should work. I don't know, I'll measure it again later. Maybe once we're done setting up the diamonds, wow, cause we're good. We just have to bring like 5 belts of coal through all of this, yoink up our turbo fuel over there, and then bring it over to 8 or 9 particle accelerators. Because if we set these suckers up to make diamonds, right? And we overclock them, we will need 867 divided by 150. Okay, about 6 particle accelerators? Or wait a second, wait. No. And of all the things for the throughput to be an annoyance, the particle accelerators? Really? That's, okay. Dang it. But with some machines that have 2 entrances like this, you can do some kind of like trickery with both entrances, wherein you have a bunch of belts just going into both entrances, and then you can load in tons and tons and tons of items. But here that won't work because of the turbo fuel, brother. Okie dokie. So if we only can overclock these to 200%, that means we have to build about 8 particle accelerators. 8 particle accelerators, huh? Where are we gonna build 8 particle accelerators? Well, there's some obvious places, like right there, or right where we're kind of setting up the example, but I have big plans for those central empty spots. No, instead, we are gonna be setting up particle accelerators right over here, which means we're gonna have to do quite a bit of belt work, bringing all the belts this way to the exact opposite side of the factory, but we have so much space for activities. It's like, why not? It is if we can fit the 9 particle accelerators up here, which we absolutely can, right? Totally. If I just believe in myself, anything's possible. Physics? Math? Nah. I'm running on pure 100% concentrated hopium. So that's 3. Okay. That's another row of 3. Another row of 3. Oh my gosh. And then we have 1 tile to do some logistic-y stuff. It's like it was all planned. Okay, honestly, just getting lucky here. This is awesome. Belt work-wise, it's gonna be a pain in the butt, because I think we're gonna have to do that on the ceiling of this factory area down here. I think we'll have to scoot on through up this way. And then we'll have to scoot that belt downstairs. And yeah, do all the belt work over in this empty area. I don't want to think about that right now. Instead, gotta do the grindy bit. We are going to add on to our existing belt highway here to bring all the coal. But blueprints, you're gonna save me here, right? When I go to blueprint build mode, you're gonna build directly on top? Yes, believe. There we go. And I think we have to nudge this into place a little bit. Okay, okay. That is like half the battle. This area of setting up all the belts is gonna be fine. Honestly, I don't think we need 9 belts, but I'll just get them set up anyway for future use. And then just over this way, oof. Oof. Things are gonna get a little hairy. Now we've used up all the space down here, even if I wanted to go through here. Got a bit of a wall up ahead. So now we're gonna have to stack them up on top of this belt stack. Go over top of the walkways, these belts. There's a staircase here. Achoo! Where'd the staircase go? Oh, look at all this free space. Perfect. And then this, and I can go literally anywhere else. Nope, this is fine, and also our only option. And like with the train station, at this point, if there's space, we are using it. We're at the tail end of the project, and there's not too much left to do. Just gotta get her done. So up and around, down this way, along with the turbo fuel. Then we scoot over here. And yeah, we got actually a few few free belts that we could use for something else. Maybe for moving the diamonds around our factory because we have to make all the time crystals later on. And then I also noticed that past Kibz had a free belt on the old highway, just in the middle there. So we have the coal up top, we have the turbo fuel downstairs. Everything scoots this way. The throughput with all of the coal in this train worked out. We are chillin'. In fact, we're more than chillin'. The numbers are amazing. And when we're ready, we just reconnect that up into the big stack and over to its final destination. So back to the loops. Most of them, again, are gonna be on 200%. And then for the last few, I worked out the math so we could just have 3 running. So 2 will be on 100%, and then 1 will be kind of like chillin'-ish. Just so we could fit the 9 in here, and they're all actually running. Yeah, the belt work, though, is gonna be such a pain. I suppose we could just have a bit of a bridge going across this way, because we're gonna have a wall on the other side here. Just while I'm working, I left it down. All of the material is moving up to around here. Could move it higher, and then reorganize. Or we could organize the turbo fuel up here and use a series of splitters. I think so. Let's just check out the coal, though. Don't overwhelm myself. Coal belt comes down this way. Big stack over that way. Maybe we could actually just go to here. And then when it comes to the coal belts, no, keep it like that. Go to the top. Then we extend it. Bonk my head. And please just go around the corner. Oh my gosh! Sometimes when things work out, you know it's meant to be. And then does it work out again? Bring this down this way. Geez, okay, it gets a little bit more complicated, but I feel like I can organize things better than this. Main thing is, it looks like it'll work. Thank goodness for ceiling space and verticality. And you know, it's something I should really focus more on. I worked on this project over here months ago. This is part of the nuclear waste recycling, and I just love it. So maybe as we finish up the nuclear power plant, I'll keep more of this in mind. But holy smokes, even when I'm just working on the functionality, it's not too bad. So, all the belt work is done. We ended up using this platform back here for the turbo fuel, and it worked out great. Since we had 9 particle accelerators, we split the main belt of turbo fuel into 3, and then split it into 3 again, and everything works out. Belt work for the coal, same kind of deal. Belts go in, up they go, scooting all around. And I just had to keep track of which belts had like 900 coal per minute and which belts had more than that. But overall, no biggie. It's time to test it. There we go, just gotta connect this to that. Use some beams to bring the power through all the machines, and then for the outputs, they are actually being dealt with upstairs. Just so I can visually see all of my diamonds. Look at them. Look at them. 900 per minute. It's gonna be such a fun time with all the industrial activities we can have now. And then as for just the aesthetics of the roof of this build, amazing. Come on, they're particle accelerators. They're always gonna look good. The main thing is, I just wanted them to look good with the converters. And you know, I think I nailed it. And then for the rest of the build, just the usual details. Just some decorative pipes, some signs, that sort of thing, and nothing too crazy. This building's off in the corner, right? It's not gonna be a star of the show, unfortunately. It just needs to work with the whole. But it also needs to work just like in general. But guess what? It's not! My numbers? Where are my numbers? I know what the problem is. I already knew. It's a throughput problem. It is always gonna be a throughput problem. The problem from the very beginning. You chew too. I knew it. JK, I am just finding this out now. This is a way bigger problem. The throughput's not enough. That's crazy. This train is huge and it's so much closer, but it just can't keep up. Past Kibz, I blame this all on you. You punk buster. Why can't we be friends? All right, another train. Oh yeah, you thought you could handle this all on your own? Don't. Oop. Nope, couldn't handle it all on its own. Now you're causing me inconveniences. I can't believe this day. But all things considered, at least it's like an easy problem, right? That's why I love trains. Throughput immediately doubled. And with that running, and if I get the timing right with it and the brother train over there, our numbers should be much better, right? You better believe it. Which means back at the loops, we are all good, right? Practically perfect. We got a 900 diamonds per minute. And now we just have to take all of them, put them in like 100 of these converters, and make a quadrillion time crystals. However, that will be for next time, because that's gonna be all for now. Until then, remember to leave a like and subscribe for more. And for now, have a fantastic rest of your day, and bye-bye.